I couldn't believe what was happening because I knew this fact is going to change my whole life.
I tried to do for my sister. I tried to give her everything I missed.
Byarambaje ku buryo nanjye niyo ndi njyenyine nkabitekereza nk'iyo mbitekereje nanjye mbifata nk'aho yapfuye nanjye nkababazwa nawe kuba ntawe mba ndeba.
I have traveled to Rwanda, a village in Rwanda, in East Africa. I am here because of Jean Claude. He's 19.
You speak English.
Yes? Hi. Nice to meet you. Hey, how are you?
I'm fine.
To me it feels awkward, but I was asked to bring a football. And it does do its magic as an icebreaker. And you also play football, right?
Yeah.
Jean Claude takes me on a tour around the house. Yeah? He shows me the goats that he takes care of after school. I know that his family is not like any other family in the village. And Jean Claude is not like the others in his family. He's the only one who never met his father. The only parent he knows is his mother, Beata. And it wasn't until a few years ago that she finally told her son why he would never be able to meet his father.
Nashakaga gufata indangamuntu ndamubwira ati barimo kutubaza amazina y'ababyeyi izina rya papa ninde kako wagendaga ari uko ijyanye arambwira ati ntago nawe kuba muzi ntago muzi arabimbwira nanjye ambwira uburyo byagenze ambwira ko nawe nyine ambwira ko nawe atamuzi tureba izina turagiyitirira abariryo nandikisha.
And has your mother told you about the events when she was raped and how this happened?
Ntabwo byabimbwiye gusa bambwiraga n'ukuntu bagendaga bahunga bavuga ati ambwira ngo wenda yagiye muri Kongo n'amaguru nk'iyo ati se ubu wagera akavuga ati nyine baragendaga aho bwije bageza ko bariho ariko ibyo ngibyo ntabwo yabimbwiye.
I learned that Beata fled the village 20 years ago during the genocide. Hutu militiamen killed hundreds of thousands of Tutsis, like Beata's family. She tells me she escaped death, but was brutally raped many times by different men on her journey. That's when she got pregnant with Jean Claude. Why did you decide to keep the baby?
his father's grave. Robin Hellwinkel comes here almost once a week. This time he lets me join him in this very personal moment. A year ago, his life changed forever. What happened exactly?
I've been in France, so I was a student in marketing in France, and when I left the student room, I received a call of my mom, and she was saying to me, and she was crying, and she said, "Well, your father is dead," and I was struck. I was shocked. It was a deep connection. We had contact nearly every day, especially when I take decisions and I don't know what's wrong or right. I would love to know his opinion.
And this is your dad?
Here we are, yes, exactly.
Okay. When you look at these pictures, what's inside you?
I mean, I owe a lot to him. He's the person, he's the reason why this company still exists. So we all owe a lot to him.
But he's also the reason why you had to change your life.
No. The reason why I needed to change my life, or why I wanted to change my life, is that we've got 33 employees, and therefore it would have been a pity if everybody is unemployed. And I know everybody from my early youth.
Robin shows me around the factory he was suddenly in charge of at the age of only 23. It's not a high-tech startup. They produce waffle irons. Robin is now responsible for everything: people, budgets, and strategy. When is the time where you don't have under control? You feel like I'm really young for all what's happening here.
It happened a lot, especially when I'm exposed to new situations and to new problems. If a problem is new and you haven't solved it before, you're pretty much more insecure in solving the problem.
From the village of Rukoma, my driver is taking me on a trip. Rwanda has a lush green landscape, and to me it all looks peaceful. It's hard to imagine that only 20 years ago a brutal genocide took place right here. I am visiting a memorial, a former Catholic church in the town of Nyamata. The memorial contains the remains of more than 45,000 victims. More than 10,000 were slaughtered right here. It feels creepy, but suddenly also very real. There are coffins on display and hundreds of skulls. In my head, they invoke horrible images of murder. In the former main church building, I meet Freddy Mutangua, who survived the genocide and now studies it.
They broke in the door and they start throwing grenade inside. But people were shooted. You can see even people were shooted from many sides because they came into people. You can see there's how to call it, the black marks there. Yeah. These are bloods, actually. Some because of a grenade, they were throwing, and many people actually in them too much blood and brains, and people just have their arm chops. They can actually goes up to they are smashed on the walls. All clothes you can see here, they are all victims. If you count one clothes, is one victim. So there's so many people actually were inside here.
In 1994, in only 100 days, more than 500,000 people were killed. The perpetrators raped up to 500,000 women. As a result, around 20,000 children were born.
They didn't have any love. They didn't have any stable, really, psychology to make them human beings. So, as a consequence of the rape during genocide, the children who were born from the rape, they have so many challenges in terms of relationships, in terms of how they should adjust themselves as normal children.
For the third story on our show, I've come to Romania. I'm here to meet Andrea, who also lives without a father and without a mother.
Did you know all your neighbors who live in this building?
Yes.
And so show me, that one's your apartment, yeah?
Yes.
That's
They're
the
my
balcony.
neighbors.
Ah, okay.
Basically, he has 2 little kids.
Yeah, I can see.
My neighbors from my level, they're all in Greece, in Spain. They're all
They all gone.
Yes, yes. It wasn't like that. This was full of neighbors and kids. Hi, Mihailaș.
The kids are still here, but the parents, they're gone. It's estimated that around 350,000 children in Romania grow up with at least one parent working abroad.
When I come home, I bring them candies and they all give me kisses. Ce faci el? Bine. Bine? Da. Ai fost la mine?
Andrea's mother went to Italy 7 years ago, she tells me. At first, her grandparents stepped in, but soon after, Andrea had to take over the reins.
For me, losing my grandfather was the worst, because I always said that my grandfather loved me the most, even as my mother. Yes, and I still believe that. Yes, and that was difficult for me. And the period after they both died, I didn't came here because it was painful for me. And now I try to get used with the idea and go on. And I try to do for my sister, I try to give her everything I missed, I hadn't. So at least she doesn't feel that lack of love, of anything, even material.
Since Romania joined the EU, the number of people working abroad has doubled. There are plenty of professionals taking care of the children left behind, or Euro orphans, as they're also called. Still, I can't imagine they don't struggle without their parents.
Afectiv au fost și v-am spus că în momentul când aveau probleme, plângeau, dorul de părinți, începuseră să fie un pic mai violenți la școală sau am luat legătura cu psihologul și a stat de vorbă mai mult ședinți cu ei, cu părinți, cu aparținătorii care au rămas acasă și s-a rezolvat problema.
Back in Africa, I want to find out how Jean Claude is coping with the difficult situation with his mother.
Hello. Hey, Beata.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Good to see you again.
When Beata leaves us in the banana grove, I ask Jean Claude how he felt when his mother mistreated him as a child.
Iyo nabonaga bigenze gutyo nyine nanjye byarambabazaga kubera ko nabonaga ko harimo itandukaniro ryanjye nabo, ariko nyuma nibwo nanjye naciye akenge menya yuko kuko kibirimo kuba kuko n'ubundi ari ibintu bisanzwe.
That sounds very wise, but I think when you're a child you don't understand that, and I'm wondering, how did you react then? Did you not get mad sometimes, or did you not want to hit somebody back or something?
rimwe n'imwe byabagaho bitewe n'ibyari byo kuko hari nk'igihe wenda babaga wenda baguze nk'inkweto nanjye nabona bigenze gutyo wenda rimwe na rimwe nanjye nkazihisha kugira ngo nabo batazambara.
I know it's not just Jean Claude who suffered. I wonder how his mother Beata is dealing with her trauma of being raped. She takes me to a meeting that's for women only. In their regular get-togethers, the women make baskets that will earn them some extra money. And they also get a chance to talk among themselves in private. All these women lost relatives in the genocide, and many have experienced sexual violence.
Tuganira ibintu byo kwiyubaka, tukirinda no kwigunga, n'icyo tugomba kugeza ku bana bacu tubigisha umuco.
After leaving Andrea's childhood village, I'm headed now to the city where she lives and studies. Andrea's mother left for Italy so that her kids could have a better life. But Andrea's life isn't exactly carefree. She works 3 jobs to help support the family. This is one of them, babysitting. I get to know Andrea's sister, Stefania, now 17. She's grown up with Andrea taking care of the family, and they're very close.
What is your sister like to you?
She's like a second mother.
Is she a role model, your sister?
Da, mereu a fost.
Why?
Pentru că, cu toate că mama a fost plecată, a reușit să treacă peste și m-a ajutat și pe mine și pe fratele meu atunci când am avut nevoie. Și a trecut singură peste tot. Toate greutățile, tot.
Seeing everything Andrea does, I wonder how she manages it all, especially without the help of a parent.
Robin has lost his father. His mother is the only one left in his family. I finally get to know Gabriele. She works at the company with her son, who is actually her boss. Their relationship has grown much stronger. I wonder whether he's become a mommy's boy.
I always have my ideas. I always have my own willpower, and therefore maybe she would love to have his son more in her way, but I really have my own thoughts, my own beliefs, and I go my own way.
I feel like he had no real choice other than accepting his new role.
So sieht's doch gut aus. Okay, gut. Gabeln.
Akzeptieren?
Ja. Expectations on him must have been very high.
Why was it important that Robin has to take over the company, not someone else?
Ja, das ist eine Sache der Familienehre. Wie soll ich das beschreiben? Das ist in ihm auch drin gewesen. Er hat von klein auf Maschinen gemalt und ist durch die Firma gegangen und hat gesagt, ja, das ist... Ja, er könnte auch was anderes machen. Aber ja, ich weiß nicht, er wollte es auch. Wir haben nicht lange überlegt. Es war eine Bauchentscheidung, das war keine Kopfentscheidung. Vielleicht hätte er mit dem Kopf anders entschieden, aber er hat mit dem Bauch entschieden. Und die Bauchentscheidung hat gesagt, ich mach's, ich muss es machen.
Unlike Robin, his friend Maxime has been able to choose his own career path.
That's insane. It's always all the time. 12, 1 o'clock.
He has a cool car, he's the boss,
Yeah.
he has everything.
Everything I want, but not every time I want it.
So would you switch with his job?
No, I don't think so.
Why?
Because it's first of all, it's a lot of responsibility, but this is something someone can cope with. But the fact is, being put in it's like being put in 10 years, but just today, and like being put in the big adult world.
What is he missing now? Because he's doing this job.
Oh, I think he's maybe missing the life with no pressure, or at least very few pressure.
Amid the hectic workload, this is Andrea's timeout. She works at a friend's event. They plan weddings together. This weekend they have 4 to take care of, but that doesn't stress Andrea out. I can tell she's really enjoying herself. Here she gets to let her creative juices flow.
Hello. Da.
Her mom calls often, at least once a day.
Da. La castele, în general, sunt nunțile speciale pentru că e decor de castel, cu pietre, cu scări pentru prințese, unde facem balustradă. E un decor mai deosebit. Chiar și fără flori sau alte decorații. Și noi încercăm să le înfrumusețăm și mai mult. Da.
Andrea's parents got divorced when she was 14 because her dad was an alcoholic. He still drinks and avoids his kids. Their mom visits once a year during Christmas.
Îmi lipsește mai ales în weekend, pentru că în fiecare weekend toate fetele ne strângeam la mine și înainte să ieșim undeva, ne îmbrăcam, mama ne ajuta să ne alegem haine. Când ne întorceam dimineața, stăteam și povesteam tot ce am făcut, ce s-a întâmplat, cu cine ne-am întâlnit și ea ne asculta pur și simplu. Era mai mult o prietenă decât o mamă și nu numai pentru mine, și pentru prietenele mele. Asta le făcea pe ele să vină la mine cât mai des și să vină cu plăcere și să-i spună mamei orice problemă aveau, indiferent de natura lor, ceea ce acasă nu puteau face din diverse motive.
How do you manage to always stay so positive? Because you seem like you're always happy and positive and see things in a really positive light.
Yes, even if I'm mad or upset, I smile. I don't want to cry. I just smile when I'm very upset and I would like to cry. I just smile.
How do you do that? How do you keep yourself always happy?
I don't know. I just don't want to be upset, and I know everything will be fine in the end.
How is it going? Français.
Everything is fine tonight for Robin. It's the weekend. It's time to party. Finally, no responsibilities. But I get the feeling that Robin is not letting loose like the others. Perhaps because I'm still here with the camera.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I love it. I love you.
And you forget?
Almost. I mean, I remember on Monday I have to give my performance. I have to be there every time of the day. But right now I can still be myself.
Well, we party on. Since the weekend won't last forever.
Jean Claude's way to let off steam and forget about his problems is playing football with his friends. I can't help but wonder if, after all that's happened to his family, he can imagine having children of his own one day. And what kind of father he would be.
Nkunda kuganira n'abana banjye cyane, nkajya nkunda kuganira n'abana banjye cyane, nkabigisha uburyo bagomba kubana neza na bagenzi babo, nkabigisha imico myiza mbese.
I feel humbled by Jean Claude's positive outlook. His family has really seen the worst in humanity, and yet They have chosen not to let hatred govern their lives. With this song, the family wishes that I will come back one day. I'd love to return, to see Jean Claude as a father.
Agora